Dementia is a condition that causes a progressive decline in cognitive abilities, memory loss, and behavioral changes. Dementia has a significant impact on individuals, their families, and caregivers, leading to emotional distress and challenging adjustments. Preventing dementia is more important than treating it because there is currently no cure for most types of dementia. Once symptoms arise, it becomes challenging to halt the disease. In this video, we explore the top 10 causes of dementia together, empowering you to take control of your brain health through adopting a healthy lifestyle. The first one is less education. Imagine the brain as a maze of pathways with electrically charged synapses. Synapses are connections between nerve cells that allow them to communicate with each other. As you see, these two are nerve cells, and this one is the synapse connecting them. Synapses play a crucial role in cognitive processes such as learning, memory, and information processing. Education enhances this intricate network, enabling synapses to multiply and fortify, building a cognitive reserve that shields the mind against dementia. Cognitive reserve is the brain's ability to maintain normal functioning despite the presence of brain disease such as dementia. A meta-analysis on over 437,000 participants observed that higher cognitive reserve and education reduce the risk of dementia. In brief, those with higher educational levels have a key advantage: a greater cognitive reserve, battling against cognitive decline and ensuing dementia. When individuals have poor social interactions and lack meaningful connections with others, it can increase the vulnerability to dementia. Interacting with others stimulates the brain, enhances mental agility, and promotes emotional well-being. It provides opportunities for intellectual stimulation, emotional support, and the exchange of ideas, all of which are beneficial for brain health. On the contrary, lack of social contact deprives the brain of these stimulating experiences. It can lead to feelings of loneliness, depression, and anxiety, which have negative consequences for cognitive function. The brain's neural networks and pathways become less active and less resilient in the absence of regular social engagement. There is a link between hearing impairment and dementia as well. When hearing diminishes, the brain receives less auditory input, a condition known as deferentation. This decrease in brain stimulation contributes to neural circuit degradation and brain atrophy over time. Besides, hearing loss keeps us from social connection and cognitive stimulating activities. This social isolation can lead to cognitive decline and brain shrinkage. A meta-analysis on over 726,000 participants revealed that hearing loss is independently associated with dementia. Hearing loss is also connected to higher risk of Alzheimer's disease. So never hesitate to use hearing aids for hearing loss and reduce hearing loss by protection of ears from excessive noise exposure. Sleep plays a crucial role in the brain's restorative processes and cognitive functions, making disruptions to sleep patterns detrimental to brain health. A meta-analysis on over 25,000 participants observed that those experiencing sleep problems, such as insomnia, sleep apnea, or fragmented sleep, are more likely to develop dementia later in life. One plausible explanation is that long-term sleep deprivation could trigger inflammation, oxidative stress, and vascular problems within the brain tissue. Interestingly, the association between sleep disturbances and dementia appears to be a two-way street. While sleep problems can contribute to the development of dementia, individuals with dementia often experience disruptions in their own sleep patterns, such as frequent nighttime awakenings and daytime sleepiness. Individuals with a history of depression are more likely to develop dementia later on. A recent study on over 6,000 participants reported that depression during young adulthood is linked to a notable 59% increase in the risk of developing dementia. That's because depression can trigger a cascade of detrimental changes in the brain's functioning. It leads to the release of stress hormones like cortisol and promotes inflammation. Depression also interferes with neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to adapt and form new connections between neurons, impairing the communication between different brain regions. Depression also brings about changes in lifestyle, such as reduced physical activity, unhealthy dietary choices, and social withdrawal, all accelerate development of dementia. The harmful effects of smoking extend beyond its impact on cardiovascular health and respiratory diseases. A meta-analysis on over 960,000 participants uncovered that smoking increases the risk of dementia by 32% for every 20 cigarettes per day. Plus, quitting smoking can significantly reduce the risk of developing dementia. Even if you quit later in life, it can still have a positive impact on your brain health. The toxic chemicals in cigarette smoke generate free radicals that can attack and damage brain cells, disrupting their normal functioning and speeding up the progression of dementia. Smoking can lead to buildup of beta amyloids in brain tissue, a hallmark of Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia, so better to avoid air pollution and secondhand smoke. Similar to smoking, other cardiovascular risk factors, particularly diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity, have significant impacts on developing dementia. Diabetes and dementia are intertwined, with diabetes carrying a heightened risk for developing dementia, especially Alzheimer's disease. High blood sugar levels in diabetes can lead to damage and ignite inflammation within blood vessels, affecting blood flow to the brain. Over time, these changes can foster the buildup of harmful substances, giving rise to plaques and tangles, hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. Hypertension is a significant risk factor for developing dementia. That's because when blood pressure remains uncontrolled, it can cause small vessels in the brain to rupture. These ruptures lead to the occurrence of small strokes or microinfarcts. Over time, the accumulation of multiple microinfarcts can cause vascular dementia, a specific type of dementia. Obesity, especially abdominal obesity, is linked to chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and metabolic dysfunction, all of which have negative effects on brain health. Carrying excess weight also reduces brain volume, particularly in areas important for memory and cognitive functions such as hippocampus and frontal lobes. Around 5% of all dementia cases are attributable to traumatic head injuries. When someone experiences repeated head injuries like those commonly seen in contact sports or military combat, it can cause problems in the brain, a condition known as chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. CTE develops slowly over time, with symptoms showing up years later after the initial injuries. It's mainly caused by an abnormal buildup of a protein called tau in the brain. Tau can form tangles that disrupt brain cell function. Affected people may have memory loss, trouble thinking, mood changes, and behavior problems. Plus, a meta-analysis on over 8 million cases showed that repeated head injuries significantly increase the risk of dementia. Advanced CTE can severely impact a person's daily functioning and quality of life. Remember, prevention is key when it comes to dementia because there is currently no cure. By taking proactive steps to protect your brain health, you can lead a healthier and more fulfilling life. If you know any other condition that can trigger dementia, write it in the comment part down below. Stay tuned for more valuable tips and information on our channel.